Hello everyone! Today I would like to introduce you to another episode of Learning German with the Bible. I'm your host, and today we're going to look at verses Genesis 1, 7 to 9. Let's have a look. This is Genesis 1, verse 7, which I'm going to read to you now. Und Gott machte die Ausdehnung und schied das Wasser unter der Ausdehnung von dem Wasser über der Ausdehnung. Und es geschah so. Now, if you watched my other videos, then you should already know most of the words that occur in this verse. I marked all the words that I already discussed in yellow, and all the words that we didn't get to yet in white. Here, I translated all the yellow words into English, and left the white words in German. Let's just look at the verse as it stands now. So, this is what you should already understand in this verse. And God, something, the firmament, and something, the water, something, the firmament, from the water above the firmament, and it, something, so. Now, let's try to solve all the white words that are in German. First, we'll start with unter, because that's by far the easiest one. Unter simply means under. There are a few other derived words in German, but I could just mention at this opportunity. For example, there's Unterwäsche, which means underwear, Untergrund, which means underground, and Unterwelt, which means underworld. You can see that they are quite similar to their English counterparts. So with that, we already solved the first word. Next, we'll look at machte. Machte is derived from the word machen, and simply means make. Again, if you look at them, you can see the similarity between the German and the English. That's our second word. Next, we'll get to schied. Schied is related to scheiden, which we already discussed in the last video, but since the form here is quite different, I decided to include it as a word which I don't expect you to know yet. But it simply is the past tense of scheiden, which means to separate. So already, we have 3 words deciphered in this verse. The last word that remains is geschah. Geschah is the past tense of geschehen, which means to happen. So, geschah means happened. It happened. Now let's look at the verse again. As you can see, we now deciphered all the words that occur in it, and you should be able to translate the verse by yourself. Next, we're going to look at Genesis 1, verse 8. In German, the verse reads like this. Und Gott nannte die Ausdehnung Himmel. Und es wurde Abend. Und es wurde Morgen. Der zweite Tag. From my previous videos, you should already know all the words that are present in this verse, except for one. Zweite. Zwei is the German word for two. Zweite means second. The German word zwei is descended from the Proto-Indo-European word dvo, and it has parallels in many other languages. For example, German zwei, English two, Danish to, Dutch twee, Greek duo, Latin duo, Sanskrit dva, Welsh dau, Albanian du, Lithuanian du, Russian dva, Polish dva, Kurdish du, and Farsi do. In fact, even the Malay word dvi and the Thai word to are related to the Proto-Indo-European word dvo, even though Malay and Thai themselves are not of Indo-European descent. Most likely, these languages borrowed the word for two from Sanskrit, which was an important cultural language in Southeast Asia at the time. Next, we're going to look at Genesis 1, verse 9. In German, the verse reads like this. Und Gott sprach, es sammle sich das Wasser unter dem Himmel an einen Ort, damit man das Trockene siehe. Und es geschah so. From my previous videos, you should recognize most of the words in this verse. However, there are still some that you may not know. Let's start with sehe, because that is the easiest one. Sehe is the conjunctive form of see. The infinitive form of a word is sehen, which means to see. There are many German words that are derived from sehen. For example, Seher, which means seer or prophet, Sicht, which means sight or view, or Sehhilfe, which refers to glasses and literally means seeing help. So we have already deciphered the first unknown word in this verse. Next, I would like to look at trockene, which can also be related to English. Das Trockene refers to the dry land. Trocken is the German word for dry. Both words are descended from the Proto-Germanic word Drucknes, which meant dry. There are also a number of German words that are derived from trocken. For example, die Trockenheit, which means the dryness. Trocknen, which means to dry, for example, clothes. And austrocknen, which means to dry up. For example, when your body dehydrates, it is austrocknen. So that is the second word in this verse that we deciphered. Next I would like to look at Mann, which is a common word in German. Mann simply means one or someone. It has a similar function in German to that of English you. For example, one might say, das macht man nicht. And that literally means, one does not do that. In English you would say, you do not do that. And that is to say, it's inappropriate. Another example would be this sentence, man kann es sehen, which literally means, one can see it. In English you would say, you can see it, to say that it is visible. So that's another word that we've deciphered. Next I would like to look at damit. Damit means so that, or in order to, so it refers to the function of an action. Now you may see that the second half of the sentence looks a bit weird on the lower text. So that one, the dry land see, doesn't really make sense. As I mentioned earlier, sehe is the conjunctive form here. So a more literal translation would be so that one may see the dry land. This way the sentence makes more sense. Next I would like to take a look at the word Ort. Ort means place or point. It can also mean city. It is descended from the Proto-Germanic word usdas. In archaic Old English there is also a word called ord or erd, but that is not used in modern English anymore. There are also a number of German words that are derived from Ort. For example, orten, which means to locate. Ein Ortungsgerät is a tracking device, so a device that is used to track the location of an object. Next I would like to look at the word sich. Sich means itself, or himself, or herself. In this context, it is referring to water. Since water has no gender, at least not as far as I know, the most reasonable translation here would be itself. Now there's only one word left, sammle. Sammle in this context means let it be gathered. It is derived from the word sammeln, which means to gather or to collect. It is related to the English word same. A few German words that are derived from sammeln are Sammler, which means collector, Sammlung, which means collection, and Versammlung, which means assembly. Now we have translated all the words in this sentence. Since we now understand the words, I would take some more liberties in my translation to make it less literal and rearrange the order of the words. Thus it reads, let the water gather itself under the heaven at one place, so that one may see the dry land. And it happened so. And that's it for today. In conclusion, today we looked at Genesis 1 verses 7 to 9. In German, they read as such. By now, you should be able to translate and understand them from German into English. Thank you very much for giving me your time and attention today. I look forward to seeing you next time again. If you have any suggestions for improvements or feedback, I would be happy to receive them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.